Hey guys, sorry it's kind of dark out here. So anyway, it's 2002 Gl1800. I can zoom out a little bit for you. There you go. So the fuel pump's leaking, I believe. There's definitely fluid on the ground underneath the bike. This video is going to be kind of choppy, and I'm going to try and go back and edit it and get everything just right. But just bear with me, and I'll try and do the best explanation I can. But let's see, where do we start? So the first thing you have to do, obviously, you have to get up here. You take out your top dash. On the 02 models, a little different than the 03 and 04 from what I understand. You got different bolts, you got tweeters in some of the newer models, but the concept's basically the same. You got these little push pins that hold in one side, and you've got your Allen head bolts that hold in the other side. You take your speaker panel covers off, take your Allen head bolts out, you take your little push pins out. You just push them in with a screwdriver, and then the whole thing comes right out. No big deal. So on the side, you have this plastic strip that runs down right here, and mine had 2 screws in it with covers on it. Most likely because it had some of these, these little fin things right here. I didn't like them, too tall, so I took them off. But take those 2 screws out, take a real dull flat blade of some kind, and you can pop the strip off real easily right here. Takes it right off. I'll show you my my bags and how I keep all the screws organized. It's kind of came up with it through trial and error of a whole bunch of other projects I've done. But same thing in here. The inside of this, all you got to do is push pin those out. You just push them in, and then the whole tray lifts out. This dash panel that was right here, once I got this screw, once you release the skirt panels, you have screws behind it, and mine only had 2. I think somebody's been here before me, but then this thing pops out from the inside. The wires on it are a little. Let's see if I can pull it up here for you. Well, there we go. So the wires on it are a little strange. I don't know if you can see that, but it's not normal plug, so I elected not to unplug that. I just slid it up under that hole and put it there. That way I can remove this dash. You have a dash panel that covers this area, and excuse me, well, I say that. Oh yeah. You have an upper dash, and then you have a lower dash. So the upper dash is just a couple of screws and push pins. It comes right out. And well, did I say that right? Let's go in here and look at my junk pile. Oh no, I'm wrong. It's just the whole dash panel here. So, but the only thing on the bottom of that is you've got your one electrical connector that you have to undo, and I'll show you that. See if I can get down in here. Do I have a light? Not available. Quality phone I have here. Anyway, right about there, if you can see that, that's a and I'll do more of this video in the daytime and give you a much clearer picture of this, but it's just got one little tab. You push it in with a screwdriver. It's kind of hard. You have to get your hands. Drop the phone. That's always good. I'll try and edit that out. But one pin, pull that out. That whole dash thing comes right out. There's no connections on the lower half. It's just literally connected up here to this top ridge. You have to kind of move your steering wheel back and forth as you're working on different things. Same thing for the other side. You've got your bucket here that goes there. I just popped it out so I could see what I'm doing. Probably could have stayed on this side, but then again, it might be easier once I go to pull it out. But so here we go. I'm going to see if I can. I might get a phone holder at some point, see if I can prop this thing up for you. But so we're going to take. There's got to be some kind of electrical connection under here. Let's see if I can feel around and find it. So I'll bring you right back, and I'll show you what these electrical connections for this thing are. Alright guys, I've done about all I'm going to do for this evening. It doesn't look like I made much progress, but I'll show you what I did. So I was just kind of looking around trying to figure out where all the bolts are and everything that hold this tank on. You've got some bolts right up front, both sides. You've got this bracket here that goes over. I've got some auxiliary wiring that somebody did for lights or some kind of goofy crap on this thing. We're gonna have to get this fuel line off, unplug this that's probably gonna be how much gas you have in the tank. You take this vent hose off of here. I already got the collar off of the gas cap just to make sure. I'll have to pull all these little electrical tabs off. So on the other side, carry my light around here for you. This is why I'm gonna stop for the night, because I really want to get all this on film, and because there's very little junk on YouTube about this particular project. I've seen one, it's okay, and he may be more knowledgeable than me, but that remains to be seen. So this really didn't take that long. Let's see what I mean. I've only been working on it for about an hour and a half or so. And I want to show you what my bags and how I keep up with everything, and don't get so confused. Especially you take this many screws out of something, and you're very likely to misplace something or lose something, or getting something mixed up with another thing, because a lot of these screws are very similar. But so we don't want to do that. I did take the battery box out. Not much to that. You literally have, and here's the battery box. I just put everything in there, and I'm going to put all the screws in the bag. But and that's just the cover for the fuse box. So all you had was, you take the battery off, you got your battery wires here, and you take those screws out, and make sure you get all that clear and don't electrocute yourself and don't blow up something or burn up something. Excuse me. You take your top bolt out of your battery box. That's a 8mm, I believe. Same thing down here, 8mm down here. There was one Phillips head screw right there that connected the battery box to the fuse panel. And I guess a reason for this is because when you go to take the tank out, I saw where the tank has to slide towards this side of the bike to get it out, or towards that side. So we'll take that out. I'm pretty sure we're probably going to have to pull this off once we get to the water pump. Just a couple bolts. I think that slides. There's some wiring on it, but I want to say it's all plug and play, something like that. Yeah, it can't be that complicated. So I'll bring you back probably tomorrow afternoon when I get home from work, and we'll keep chugging along. And feel free to, my light's going out. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe. This will be my first video. I've got lots of projects I'm going to be sharing. I do have a workshop, and I'm sorry this is not in the workshop. The Goldwing's just too big to get in and out of my workshop. It's one of those metal ones with that's up off the ground, and it's decent. I have actually rebuilt a motorcycle in it, an old 1980 CB750K model, and I'll show you that in another video and show you what all I did. It's pretty neat. Too small for me to ride. I'm a big boy, so. But one of those sentimental things. But other than that, guys, I will keep you updated. I'll keep you definitely involved. I know this is the Gl1800 is a beast, man. When you talk about wiring and hoses, no other motorcycle, in my opinion, even compares. But, and let me show you my bags real quick before we get out of here. But it's not overly complicated. I mean, the stuff that's on it is just all additions. I mean, it's a boxer engine. It's got 6 cylinders and it's got fancy stuff. But I mean, everything, once you know how to get to it, it's really not that complicated. The wiring harness is everywhere, which makes it look scary. But the individual parts are really nothing to be afraid of. I mean, you can tell like where the wire looms go. You know what they plug into. They don't plug into things that they don't supposed to plug into, and so I think it's my CPU, and I mean, it's really not that bad. So I do have a manual, and I'm going to refer to that tonight and kind of look through it and make sure I'm not forgetting or missing anything. But guys, I'll tell you. Oh, I'm going to show you my bags real quick. Here we go. Excuse the back porch. I'm not a pack rat, but at the same time, I have to work with what I got, and I'm sure most of you understand that. If you're one of those picky guys that has to have a really nice workshop with everything organized all the time, this may not be the channel for you. No big deal. No feelings hurt. I wish you the best in your endeavors. But I hope that my information can shed some light, because I get really tired of watching videos. There's very few people I really enjoy watching that actually teach you how to do things. And when the light's out tomorrow, I'll kind of show you where I got. But so, if you look at this bag, see, I labeled it front dash, and I labeled it number 2. All my bags are labeled with a number and what they go to. And the reason for the number is actually kind of my own little thing, and I don't know if anybody's ever done it before, but you start with 1, the first thing you take off. You throw your bolts, your parts, your whatever you put in it. You label it, you put your number 1 on it, and then so on, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever. When you go to reassemble everything, all you do to know that you don't miss a step is go backwards. Go to your highest number bag. It's labeled for where the part and where the screws go. Sometimes you have to make multiple bags for when you have a lot of different screws coming out of one area, and one screw is different than another screw. You'll have to put on that bag, you know, bolts with shoulders go to the outside, bolts with no shoulders go to the inside, things like that. But anyway, guys, that's it for tonight. I'll clue you back in, and we'll keep working on this. Have a good one. All right, guys, I'm back again. It's daytime, and there's a big old bug flying around. I'll get over it. All right, so here's where I'm at. I got the tank out, so you know, there's your tank. Make sure you got some rags. Walmart typically sells some for about 12 bucks a pack. So some things I ran into. All right, so you got right here. You got. Let's see if I can. Let me see if I can zoom out for you a bit. There we go. So, taking into account where the whole bike is, you've got bolts here, 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 and of course over here. And there's a bracket that goes over it. Now, I've seen on some different bikes there's some bolts down in this area, but apparently on the O2 there is not. It's just an optical illusion. The back of the tank sits down there on that thing, and that's a nice looking bug right here invading my workspace. So, not sure what I'm going to do about that. Hold up a bit. All right, sorry about that. He flew away. I got the old electric fly swatter in case he comes back. All right, so when so when you get it out, you've got right here on top of the thing, you've got a fuel draw here, and I'm assuming that's some kind of return to the tank. So my tank was full to about here. Tank goes up and it works its way down there. I had to drain most of that tank. Well, there's really no good way of doing it unless you have one of these things. This is like kind of like, you know, one of those things you use to spray your yard with. Well, this is the exact opposite. It's an oil change pump. And you know, a lot of like boats and stuff, you have to change the oil from the top. That's what that thing's for. So it took me, I don't know, four of those to empty it out and get it down low enough, because every time I would take off this hose here, gasoline would shoot out because there was so much fuel up in here. So once I got it down way below that to about here, it quit coming out of there. So just key thought. Simple electrical connection there, electrical connection there. Fuel inlet, that's just 2 bolts. Remember, bag and tag everything. But yeah, that one's good. And there's the old bug. Let's see if we can you're gonna witness a bad event here in a minute. All right, it's gone. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Well, so now I'm down in this particular project. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with this water pump, and of course Mother Honda and their infinite wisdom packs so much stuff I can't even figure out where it's leaking from yet. So I'll bring you back when we get there. I'm probably going to take that out to get back in there. I'm not sure. We'll see. And I'll let you know where we're at. But any questions, you know, comment, like, subscribe, whatever you want. I'm all about helping people out, so that's kind of the name of this whole thing. I may be changing this rear shock out since I'm here. You never know. That's you don't even see that. Yeah, it's right there. What other time would I even be close enough to get to it? So I'll think about that. All right, guys, see you in a little bit. All right, guys, I'm back. It's the afternoon. I've been kind of coming out here and piddling during the day and taking some breaks with my kids and that kind of stuff. But I got tools everywhere. And I'm not the most organized mechanic in the world, like I said in the previous time. All right, so I got the water pump out. Let me explain to you what went on here, because this might have been the biggest pain in the butt I ever had. All right, so there's no physical way you are going to get that water pump out without removing the alternator. The alternator has 3 bolts. Of course, you got to undo the 2 electrical connections on there. But so I'll show you the water pump. It sits down in there like that, and it goes all the way down in there. I'm not putting it back in because it's a pain but get out. But thankfully I got the water pump out, and sure enough, see the weep hole? Yep, it was bad. So that's good. The oil coming out of the alternator is nice and clean looking. I got to clean up all this mess here. But good news is now we know where the leak was. So advice. All right. So the alternator, you have a bolt here. You've got a bolt down the bottom in the back corner, but you have a hose here that's right next to it. So it's dang near impossible to get a wrench on it. And the only thing I found that would work was your trusty little 12mm Harbor garbage wrench. And if you push the hose down, you know, of course you'll have to have all the fluid out of that hose, but if you push it down, you can get it on there just enough. And that did work that out. The other 2 are not a big deal. You can get to them with a regular socket and extension. But the reason you have to take that out is because you have 3 bolts that you have to remove the water pump with. It looks like 4 or 5 at first, but it's really only 3. A couple of those bolts are just on the water pump itself, but you'll look for the 3 parts of the pump that have these extension arms on it. And those are the 3 you have to take off. And this pump is nasty. Glad I'm getting a new one. Looks pretty good in there. Didn't see any evidence that anything was going into the oil, but just to be sure, I'll go ahead and drain the oil and replace all that, just because. Clean up this whole area down here. But other than that, we're good. These 2 bolts, that one down there and that one down there, good luck. I didn't find any real tricks other than just a bunch of different extensions, and you have to come in from over here, because if you come in from the straight top, you'll just never get to it, because that hose and this other stuff right here is in the way. But all right, I guess I'll bring you back whenever I get the new water pump in, and I'll try and film more as we put it back in, since I know what I'm dealing with. But the only other thing is I may get into this air filter here, and since I'm already all the way in here, I might as well get in there and clean it out. I'm pretty sure it's a K&N from what the guy told me, so it just needs to be pulled and cleaned to put back in. Other than that, guys, I'm coming right back. I wanted to show you something else. Okay, so you see the tank. I'll see if I can get my hands in here so you can see my hands. All right, so That's the high part of the tank. Here's your gas cap. That's your back of the tank. Well, if you see back here, this whole oblong section right there, that section goes underneath the frame right there. So to get the tank out, I didn't want to leave this out. You take the tank from the front, you move all the wires and stuff out of the way, and you gently lift it up. Don't lose the washers on the tank. I've got to find one. One of them came off, so it's down there somewhere. I'll find it. Once you lift the tank up, it's going to come up about, say, here. It ain't going to go much further than that. See all this ridiculous wires somebody added on here? This area has got to be kind of smoothed out. So move your wires around, whatever, but you need to work this area right here. The tank, once you get it up on this side, the tank's going to swivel out like this. So it's going to go up that way. And so you'll lean the tank, pull it out, and then it'll rock that way, and it'll come out that way, come out towards you. But that's how it comes out. I didn't want to leave that out. All right.